Dotto here. How the heck you doing this fine day? And welcome to Gray Matters, the podcast for boomers and Gen X. And it's just going to be you and me today. Just going to be you and me for a little bit of time, as I'd like to have a conversation about something that has been increasingly kind of just haunting me. As I've, for some reason, in the last couple of weeks, in the normal course of business, I've been talking a lot about the changes to things like YouTube and the social platforms. And it's got me, and it always comes back to one thing. It always comes back to the algorithm, to how information appears on our device in front of us, how we're being served. And increasingly, I just get the sense of disquiet that one of the things that we're not considering about the algorithm is how it is shaping our opinion, how it shapes us, and how it might be. And I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, and it sounds very nefarious, but how we may be becoming what they want us to be. And who are they? I don't know who they are. And what do they want us to be? I don't know, but I definitely feel manipulated. And I think that you might too. Let's just take a quick step back. A little step back to our youth. Let's go back that far. Where did information come from that shaped our opinion? Our parents, our teachers, the books we read in our peer group all had a profound impact on our sense of values, on who we are, what we were interested in. And to a lesser extent, the media, they helped establish trends, but they couldn't. There wasn't the constant relationship with it. We would watch TV at night. We would read slowly a newspaper or a magazine, maybe Mad Magazine, and so we were a little bit rebellious. No, Mad Magazine, rebellious. But it was a very it was a slow motion manipulation, slow motion impact, slow motion motivation. It didn't happen fast, and it wasn't a huge volume. And it wasn't at the frenetic pace of today. When we first started really getting into a social place with our technology, with the internet, for me, I think one of the real, I guess there's probably two watershed moments. Would it be the growth of Facebook as a social platform and the growth of YouTube as a social platform? Two very different platforms. And we all look at those platforms as different for different reasons. A lot of people look at YouTube as a video delivery platform, as a network, and they see it analogous to the existing television networks and broadcast networks that they've grown up with and had an experience with. And Facebook was kind of the community side. I don't see it that way. I see YouTube as a search engine. It was a place people went to look to find the information that they were most interested in. And it just happened to be the most effective delivery mechanism was video, because we're really good at communicating these ideas via video. I don't know what I would consider Facebook to be. It was a unicorn. It was something new, but it was definitely town square, something like that. But the fact that YouTube had this intent attached, and that's an important word. That's an important word that I want to kind of get out there and set as an anchor in this conversation. Intent. When you visited a video, when you asked for when you went to YouTube, seldom did you go to YouTube to see what YouTube wanted you to see. You typically went to YouTube to find something, be it the latest news, be it a video that you had heard about, or more likely than not, to follow something that you were interested in, to learn something, to get an idea for something. But you went into videos on YouTube intentionally. I want to watch Steve's video on how to create email labels. Boom. And then you would watch that video. And so how much impact that had on you was very much directed by you. You were interested in understanding this concept, in learning this, or in viewing and in consuming this content. That was then. Facebook began on an entirely different path. And nobody else, none of the other social platforms have followed YouTube's model of being search, of being intentional. Everybody else has followed this stream-based approach where the algorithm determines what it is you are going to see. You can tell the algorithm ahead of time what you are interested in, and perhaps the algorithm cares, perhaps the algorithm doesn't care. But the algorithm decides on its criteria what appears in your feed, and that is what you are forced to consume. I say forced, of course, we can turn it off, but that's what you're fed, is that content. And so the algorithm can then begin to massage your opinion, your view of the world, based on what the algorithm wants.
Gray Matters is brought to you by Ground News, a game-changing platform that's revolutionizing the way we consume news by aggregating news articles from diverse sources and providing a comprehensive overview with an unbiased view of current events. Unbiased news, Steve? That's an oxymoron, right? Nothing is unbiased, especially in the news game. You are mostly right. But here's why I like Ground News and bought a subscription myself. With every story, we instantly see a comprehensive view from multiple sources, right, left, and center. So you get both sides of the story immediately. You're not limited to a single perspective. You get to see the entire spectrum. So perhaps balanced might be a better term to use rather than unbiased. Now, I am very concerned about the impact of social media on our society, and I appreciate Ground News' ability to be able to break down echo chambers. We really need to take back control of our information and opinions rather than letting the algorithms dictate what we think and what we believe. Ground News is a part of the solution to this problem. It's not a silver bullet, but it is a step in the right direction. You owe it to yourself and to the rest of us to check it out. You can try it for free. Paid accounts start at as little as $1 a month, and use the barcode or go to dott.to/groundnews and receive up to 40% off on a Vantage subscription. And so the algorithm can then begin to massage your opinion, your view of the world, based on what the algorithm wants. And we can give the algorithm all sorts of attributes, can't we? We can say, we can deep state them, saying they're trying to subvert democracy or society, or we can give them total avarice. All that they care about is watch time and hours and money and making money. They're just concerned about money. But we don't really know what the algorithm's purpose is. I don't know if anybody really does. But recognize that A, it's something that's unknown to us. B, it's very good at it. And C, there doesn't seem to be much of a alternative. There's no social networks out there that are growing and exploding that are based on our interest. Maybe I'm wrong there, maybe a little bit. Maybe things like a Substack, which are very kind of low on the totem pole, because you're signing up for newsletters, you're signing up for certain types of content where you're having more input into the content that you're consuming. That may indeed carry some of the hallmarks of intent, of delivering content with intent. But let's face it, the big ones, the TikToks, the Instagram, the Twitters, the Facebooks, they are all feed-based. They all have, and the algorithm is the king. And their success will depend on how well that algorithm can manipulate you. By manipulate you, it could be something as simple as entertain you and keep you engaged, or it could be something far more nefarious. But that's where their success comes from. Their success comes from how much they can control what you see and control what you want to see by keeping you there through the algorithm. And it's got to be a little bit horrifying. It's got to be a little bit horrifying for each and every one of us. I don't have a solution. I don't have any suggestion of how we're going to combat this. But I think the first step is shedding a light on it and thinking about it. And so the purpose of today's podcast is to really put it out there. Many of you have been through this, and I am covering ground that you have had conversations and you've considered. But I suspect for many of you, this is the first time you've thought about the social networks in those terms, feed-based versus intent. I think we'd all be a lot healthier if when we went to the internet, we went with intent of what we wanted to look for and what we found, and then we could get out. Of course, that's pie in the sky and wishful thinking, but that's definitely a worthwhile position to offer, saying maybe we should be striving to find a way to get to this point. There's lots of pleasant surprises out there. Finding a very cute dog video that's entertaining is a delight, and it gives you a momentary respite from the weight of the world that we're carrying on our shoulders, most of us. And so the occasional little delightful surprise is terrific, but not everything. I think we have to get at the helm a little bit more of our lives, and the social platforms are doing everything they can to take control of the steering wheel and steering us in a direction of which we know not. So that's my thoughts for today. I love to see your comments in here, especially those of you that are tuning in here in YouTube. Let me know what you think. Am I on bait? Am I on point? Is it something you have been concerned about, or is it really? Do you dismiss it as being relevant, or is this the first time that you've kind of really thought about it and you go, oh, Jesus, Steve, you might be right, and I'm not happy with this, or maybe you've got a good suggestion, a solution. Obviously, disengaging is a solution, but I don't think that's practical. None of us are going to do that. It's the tools, the communication tools, the way our society now works, the way that we deal with relationships is now intrinsically tied often to technology. So I think it's a non-starter to say the best solution is for you to just turn it off. Might be a good solution, but I don't think it's a solution that's going to work. It's not going to move us in the right direction because not enough people are going to do it. So what do you think the solution might be? I hope everybody has a great day. That's it for me. I feel much better. I feel maybe I've made you feel much worse. If so, I apologize. But at least I feel better having got that off my chest. Till next time, I am Steve Dotto. Have fun storming the castle.